This is America's Man's Man. You know, one of the things that is really disturbing to me, we talk about these media circuses, and that's what they are. They're circuses. Every time American blood is shed because some violent person does something stupid, you know what the media does? You know what the leftist, communist media does? They do a little dance. They do a little fake news engine dance because they know that this is where their bread and butter is. They know that this is where they make their money. They know that it's those psychotic people that drive into buildings or fly planes into centers of commerce. They know it's these loony people that are responsible for their bottom line. Now, all the advertising dollars. Rush Limbaugh is a brilliant man, but where would he be without the leftist media? I mean, I love him because he corrects the lies of the left and the inherent fallacies, the evils. If it weren't for that, I'm sure he's a brilliant man. I'm sure he'd be doing something else. But his whole industry, Fox News, is a cottage industry based on the lies of the leftist fake news. If it weren't for the fake news breathing lies into the ears of judges, of everyday citizens, and aspiring psycho killers across the country, aspiring domestic terrorists, aspiring foreign terrorists. If it weren't for that, the fake news, they wouldn't have any business. They wouldn't have anything to report. And so they have a vested interest in prolonging American suffering. But that's a tangent. This post is called My Gift to You. It's called My Gift to You because it's about gifts. Was holding WSB, the communist fake news, WSB, Atlanta, accountable for trying to start a new race war over slavery. This Sunday, WSB and their pawn pastors commemorated not the ending of slavery, but the beginning of slavery. And all their listeners called them out on it. They knew it was bogus. They know, why would WSB do this? Well, why does any fake news anchor do anything like that? They do it to agitate, to turn American against American, and to remind us, just when we'd like to forget, when we'd like to move on, do something productive, that as far as the fake news is concerned, all people are evil inside, and so we need to go to war against each other. That's what the fake news wants to do. They want to divide and conquer America so that they can make their advertising dollars at the end of the day. It's what fake news does. It's how they make their money. It's what fake news does. It's how fake news is profitable by American misery. If it weren't for American misery, they'd be out of business. That's why they want us to be as miserable as possible. They want Americans to hate other Americans. They want whites to feel guilty about being white. They want blacks to feel guilty about being black. When chaos rules in America, the fake news wins. When terrorism wins in America, the fake news wins. That's why CNN encourages violence against police. From sea to shining sea, copycats all over. Where would the violent massacres, where would the anti-police brutality be if it weren't for their cheerleaders in the leftist media like CNN? Anyway, so I was calling out WSB, the communist fake news, WSB Atlanta in the communist comments section, the communist comments section on Fakebook. Misanthrope Mark Zuckerberg's fake book. Hi, Mark Zuckerberg. How you doing, by the way? Don't want to say that too loudly here. This video initially posted on Facebook. How you doing, Mark? Doing all right? How about those BU girls, huh? It is true, though. Mark Zuckerberg is not the only. Mark Zuckerberg, just figured out an exceptionally devious way of taking out his nerdy angst. Everybody, BU really is kind of an experimentation ground for lonely, geeky MIT students. It's true. They know how to do math. They don't know much about girls. So MIT students experiment on BU girls. Just calling it like I see it, man. Just calling it like I see it. And Harvard's not much better. Harvard used to have culture and society, but they're getting so, these days that Harvard's going the same way. It's a bad way to go. It's a bad way to go. I don't know who's going to be the Renaissance man. Who's going to really make a cultural impact? Because they're straining under the weight of their own politically correct thought censorship, even at Harvard University. It's too bad. It's too bad. Unless it meets the narrative, they don't want to think about it. They can't think about it. They're not allowed to think about it. Don't think about it. They're not allowed to. Larry Summers, it's the reason Larry Summers was fired from Harvard. He bowed out gracefully from Harvard because he dared to say that men and women are designed differently. We think differently. It's true, but can't say that at Harvard University. Can't say that at Harvard University. As Jordan Peterson says, the reason that Harvard grads are smart, it's all about the selection process. They actually dumb down students at Harvard. The people who I know who go there, either in the PhD side or the undergrads, they say, Harvard was easier than high school. So this is easy. It's in the selection process. They just pick really smart people. That's why Harvard grads are allegedly smarter than the rest of us, the uneducated deplorables who elected our great president, Donald J. Trump. But anyway, I want to talk about GIFs. This bright individual, this really bright individual, he saw fit to respond to my... It's not just him. A lot of people on the internet, this is one of the bad, really dark side effects of social media. I hate those emoticons too, and I know you all are going to just send me a lot of emoticons, but I don't care. Bring them on. Bring on the emoticons. Because it's getting dangerously close to... Because we're actually having arguments online now, I've noticed, about rather serious things, like sodomizing the American people, what the recent Supreme Court decisions. It's not something to joke about, but that's what GIFs are. GIFs are the equivalent. GIFs are online the equivalent of a person, who you're trying to have a reasonable discussion with in real life, not talking in response to you, but jumping up on the desk and scratching under their armpits and grunting like an ape, or whatever noise apes make. It's really troubling, and Google is encouraging this culture of illiteracy because they think coding is more important. They think making YouTube videos or videos of even this sort are more important. So people are losing their ability to think because we're losing our ability to read, to speak to one another, and really lose all kind of civil discourse altogether. And it's scary. It's scary because you cannot have a reasonable argument by sending, like this gentleman who responded to me with a GIF. Like Google, responded to someone who sent them a very reasonable concern. They sent a GIF back. it's like going like this, and that's the GIF that was sent to me. It was like some, I don't know, some pop, something someone had seen on TV, and they put it in a GIF, and it was like a girl going like, you know, making some weird you know, ape-like expression. She looked like an ape too, and this is like, but this is how we're going to have a discussion now. This is how we're talking to one another. We're sending you know, like it's supposed to be some kind of inside joke that nobody understands, but we're just gonna send pictures of people gesticulating. Like it's a new low of is what it is. It's a new low of disrespect for humanity, and this carries over into real life, just like television culture carries over into real life. And it's a step down. It's a step down for humanity as our vocabularies continue to shrink by the day, and now we're stooping beneath our dignity. We're not arguing with each other. We're arguing with GIFs, which are the digital equivalent of, again, hopping up on a table and scratching our armpits and grunting like an ape, and it doesn't dignify anyone. It is below our civility, and it contributes to the generalized stupidity that's assailing the American people. It's another product of technological determinism and the antisocial culture that television and now antisocial media like Facebook is creating. America's mansman.wordpress.com is where you can catch up on my more complete theory of the antisocial effects of the idiot box, and largely based on, again, Marshall McLuhan, an MIT guy, coincidentally. Marshall McLuhan's theory of technological determinism, summed up in the phrase, "The medium is the message," and it's an anti-American message, and one we all need to be fully aware of. America's mansman.wordpress.com. I'm your favorite former fake news anchor, Peter Vidala.